Hi, it's Andy here from IELTS LMS, and today stay tuned for the best IELTS preparation course online, available anywhere and only available here. That's a big call, I know, but I think when you see it, you'll be fascinated with what it offers. IELTS LMS, we call it the complete IELTS preparation. We try to give you everything. We try to give you everything that you need to succeed. We've got practice tests, as you know. We've got mini lessons, which I write every week, and we've got some premium courses as well. And today I'm going to talk about Mastering IELTS, a theme-based approach. Now, this course was written by us for you. It's designed to take you from around about band 5, 5.5 in writing and speaking, up to 6.57 and above. And it does that by giving you knowledge and understanding and the ability to recall this information in critical situations, such as taking tests, or if you're doing an interview or something like that. So the approach is a little bit different. It's a theme-based course. And what we mean by that is that IELTS is a theme-based test. There'll be common themes like environment, technology, medicine, architecture, and so on. You'll have seen these before, and they come up regularly. And the idea for this course was really to help students get more knowledge, get more understanding, and build their confidence to allow them to perform in essay writing, and particularly part 3 of the speaking, the discussion part. Because if you don't have the knowledge, you can't talk about stuff. You know, if you're trying to make stuff up on the spot, you're not going to do very well. So, Mastering IELTS, a theme-based approach, was a solution, or is a solution to that. Now, down here on the side, you'll see the contents, which go right the way through. There's 12 modules available here. There's really an extensive amount of material. And I would say that this would last most people at least 3 months. And there's all sorts of supplementary questions, writing questions as well, to extend it even further. What I want to do today is just go through a very, very small part of this to show you how it works and why it's going to be of benefit to you. So we're just going to have a look at the architecture module. Architecture is very common in IELTS. And for each module there is an introduction, and then there's some subtopics. So here we've got 5 subtopics for architecture, and then some writing, and then some speaking, and then some tests. Now, all of these are integrated. So we build your knowledge through carefully selected reading and listenings, which are built using the IELTS LMS platform. So they look the same as the practice quizzes, and they have answers and location data and all that sort of stuff that goes into the practice quizzes as well. So if I have a look at this one, form follows function, beauty in buildings, the spectrum of form and function, and we've got a writing task here, form versus function. And in the speaking, there's 2 speaking parts here. They both of them have parts 1, 2, and 3, but there's different sets of questions in there related to different parts of the architecture module. Okay. So what do? We start off with, in all of these sub-units, we start off with a basic sort of vocabulary quiz first of all. This is just to get you thinking about the topic. There's a brief introduction, and then there is just a very quick quiz here, which picks out some of the vocabulary that may be difficult in the text, just so it gives you some context. So let's just see if I can do this quickly. Okay, so I can check my answers there. Okay, I know that. And to make someone or something look cleaner, neater, or more attractive. A polite way to say that someone used the land. Drop the F-bomb. Shouldn't be saying that word, should we? To follow something that will be very similar. Okay, so these are just some vocabulary items or phrases or idioms that may appear in the text, just to give you some context. So after you've had a look at that, there are 2 quizzes. There is a reading quiz first of all, and you've got all of the features which come with IELTS LMS in terms of highlighting and notepads and things like that. This is a true, false, not given. So read the text, answer the questions, and once you submit that, you'll be given the answers immediately, and if you got something wrong, the location data, and if it's a difficult question, maybe some explanation as well. So you can do this by yourself to build some knowledge. So this will give you some background. The questions here are focused sometimes on vocabulary, like the IELTS test, but also sometimes just on comprehension, on understanding, to build your knowledge in this area. So you do a reading. This one is all about beauty in buildings and what's the point? Is there any justification for making buildings beautiful, or should we go back to the old style of modernism and blocks, which don't look very nice but are very functional? And then we go on to a listening. So here, this is a listening about, this is more than just architecture in this woman here, she talks about form versus function in many things. For example, a corkscrew, whether the form is more important than the function, and things like that. It gets you just to think about the spectrum and balancing form versus function. So just some more ideas there. So once we've done that, we've had a couple of inputs, we know a little bit more about form versus function, then we move into an essay question. Should architects be concerned about how buildings look, or is the function of the building more important? So this is an opportunity for you to think about what you've just read. And this is where you engage your critical thinking skills, and this is where you make sure you understand the texts, but also this is where you remember what you've read, and you make connections with other things. And this is the really, really important part. So we'll do that in a writing, and we'll do the same thing in a speaking. The speaking will go through part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 is more about you and buildings that you like, and part 2 is like that as well. And part 3 then engages the more sort of discussion-based questions about society in general. So here we talk about green or sustainable architecture. Should architects be concerned about psychology and mental health? If you've read one of the articles, you'll know that they start talking about the effects of how a building looks on society. So again, this connection between different topics, health, psychology, architecture, they're all related. And how do you think buildings are going to change in the future? In part 3 of the discussion, you're often asked to speculate. What do you think? How are things going to change? So in some of those readings and listenings, it also talks about the future. So that's the idea. That's a small part of mastering IELTS, a theme-based approach. You see, it goes into many, many different modules, 12 modules altogether. And all of your scores, your results, go back to your progress report. So you know how you've done, you know what you're doing well in, and there is also the opportunity here to, if you want it, to get your writing or speaking evaluated by an instructor. Okay, so again, this is the idea of our platform providing everything that you need. You may not need evaluation. You may have friends who can do that for you. You may have a teacher who can do that for you. But if you need something, we want to be able to provide it for you on the site. Okay? So, that's it. That is Mastering IELTS, a theme-based approach. And that is the way that you are going to improve your writing and your speaking the quickest way possible, and to give you the confidence in high stress situations like the exam, or like in interviews, or even just talking to people when you're feeling a bit nervous. Okay. Hope that helps. Best of luck with your studies. Go to IELTSLMS.com and register if you haven't already. There's lots of free stuff on there, and there's lots of interesting blogs to read as well. Good luck, and I will see you next time.